Hey there, everybody. I got exciting news about the 0.8 beta, answering some questions about how this whole thing is going to look. What are the changes in 0.0 beta? This is the changelog, and this also is the type of video that I can make here on this channel, because if you aren't aware, this is the DC20 official YouTube channel. The Dungeon Coach YouTube channel is still the main channel. It's still where all the videos and guides and all that kind of stuff are going to be posted. But this gives me a chance to be able to make a video that probably would be not perform well. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. This channel is for y'all. This channel is for the people in DC20 that really care about staying up to date with what's going on and giving you guys efficient information instead of having to go find a changelog and read through that and check this or that. I'm going to be able to explain it all to you right here and hopefully answer some questions about how the 0.8 beta works. So going right into that, how the 0.8 beta works is anyone who backs the Kickstarter. Also, at this point in time, there's only 2 days left of the Kickstarter, so that's wild and crazy. So check that out. Link for that's always down in the description. But I feel like only people that are watching this are people that have already backed. So anyway, backers of the Kickstarter, immediately as soon as the Kickstarter closes, I can't do anything. I don't have any. There's no tools in Kickstarter to do fulfillment in. They have to be able to pass the baton over to BackerKit. So whenever BackerKit gets the baton, that is going to be when I can actually do stuff. I'm also going to be using DriveThruRPG, which is, I think, a huge boost for you guys to be able to have a very nice user experience, very high quality of life, so that you guys can just be emailed something, have the link there, and there it is, and you can download it for forever, and all updates that always come out. So I'm using DriveThruRPG for the fulfillment for you guys. I could do it through my website, but it'd be a little bit more weird and stuff. So DriveThruRPG has an amazing system for that, so I'm going to be using that for you guys. So as soon as the Kickstarter backers, again, this is only Kickstarter backers, once the Kickstarter closes and they pass the baton over to here, I can then be able to issue that out to you guys, and about 5 or 6 days later, so July 6th or so, I'm going to be able to press a button and send out the 0.8 beta to all Kickstarter backers. Done. There's that. Now, if you were not a Kickstarter backer, late pledges online are going to be able to go to the to BackerKit, and you're going to be able to get all the hardcovers and physical products are all going to be on BackerKit. You're going to be able to go and do that for all the physical stuff, and then all of the digital stuff is going to be available on my website. And that's the most simple way to put that. So if you do see the 0.8 beta and you come in later, or your friends want to come in later, or whatever, that is going to be through the website for digital stuff or through BackerKit for physical stuff. And then once the book's done, then I can put everything on the website once all the physical stuff's all taken care of. But that's all going to be, all the Kickstarter backers first, and then all the late pledges, and then we keep going from there. So, but there's that. So that's how the whole thing works for the 0.8 beta. And now, what's in the 0.8 beta? Here we go. I'm also going to say I've already have a full video explaining the weapons system, the weapons rework. The amount of positive feedback I've gotten from the weapons rework is immense. It's crazy. So thank you guys for that. Weapons rework is a big, huge thing. All of the weapons, the long story short of it is all weapons essentially have 2 weapon properties and deal 1 damage. But that's where the cool customization comes in, because if you want to upgrade your weapon's damage, you can, and they can deal 2 damage. And there's also properties you can take on that have negative properties, like the 2-handed property, which gives you another weapon property. Oh, cool. And now I have more to play with. And it's just so balanced and so flexible. It works really great. And if you don't want to customize your own weapon, there is a pre-made set of tables which gives you every weapon in the game nice and clean, already made for you, using the same custom system. And if you want to make a tweak, you can, because you see how the system works. Oh my gosh. So the weapon system is one of the huge pieces in 0.8. And also, I hope, an insight into the future of DC20. Because if you already like DC20 even a little bit, the changes and upgrades and polishes and all the different type of stuff coming to the game, just wait, right? So weapons rework is a big, huge thing. Second thing, I'm also going to put this in the description, is there was a live stream I did where I revealed the new class table progression system, how talents and multi-classing talents work, and how class tables work. I will also put that in the description if you want to see the full explanation of that and me showing it and doing all that kind of stuff. But there's that, and then you can see that. But the TLDR of that one is class tables had a problem where spellcasters, if they spent a talent on a martial class, they got an extra bonus. And if martial characters at level 2, when you get your talent, or level 4 or 7 or 10, anytime you got a talent, if you spent a talent on the opposite type of class, a martial spending on a spellcaster, you also got additional mana, additional spells, extra power, compared to if a spellcaster took a spellcaster talent, you got nothing. That was an imbalance problem that was ultimately not good, right? So there's a very awesome solution. It was so so clean now how it works. So on your character table, you have all your progression. But at levels 2, 4, 7, and 10, whenever you get a talent, it's blank. You don't get any stamina or mana or spells or maneuvers, or you don't get any of those type of things. Because at level 2, 4, 7, 10, when you get this talent and you spend it on any talent, if you spend it on a martial talent, you get a bonus of martial stuff. If you spend it on a spellcaster talent, you get a bonus of spellcaster stuff. No matter what your base class is, whatever you spend it on, you are able to get extra bonuses from, extra stamina, extra mana, depending on what you chose to spend it on. And if you spend it on a general talent that doesn't really, fit into the general martial or spellcaster, or if you pick a spellblade feature and you get to choose a hybrid class feature, you get to choose if you get martial stuff or stamina or spellcaster stuff. Super simple. It just is so smooth, and I can't wait to have people build characters now, and it's just going to be a lot smoother of a process. So the Spellblade obviously is another addition. Those are the three big pieces there. Weapons rework, class table rework, and Spellblade are the big pieces for 0.8. So we have maneuvers also as another reference here that I'll showcase here. Maneuvers, we did add some maneuvers to the game. So now the bleed maneuver, the daze maneuver, and the impair maneuver are added to the game, because weapon maneuvers in general have been removed from the game. Weapon maneuvers were straight up just too strong. They were designed that way. They were basically a bonus damage and a condition. But what we realized is people just caught on that these are just better and better. They're basically worth 2 action points, and they only cost 1 action point. So they're just broken in that way. And people were only using weapon maneuvers, which that's not good. People just only using one. All these cool maneuvers. Nope, I only use my weapon maneuver. So that was not working as intended, you could say. So the maneuvers have been changed in that way as well, and the weapon styles as part of the weapon system, but that's in that full video that we already talked about there as well. And then ultimately, there's one little change with the monk. Monk stamina, you now automatically, monks had to spend stamina to change stances. That ultimately felt bad. It was one of the immediate things. I have a player in my campaigns that I run every week. I have a monk player, and the monk player was like, oh man, the first time they had to spend stamina to change stances, I was like, oh. I don't know. So that was one of the most quickest changes to 0.8. But now you can freely swap stances for free at the start of each of your turns. So it doesn't cost a minor action, doesn't cost an action. It's just for free at the start of each of your turns. You get a free stance swap if you want it. But this also does add some bit of tactics in play there too, because if you don't take the stance, you still can spend stamina. So maybe you want to be in turtle, but then maybe you want to switch, but it's the beginning of the turn. You got to choose now. So there's a little bit of tactics to it. And I really do like where it's at now. So there's that one. And then other than that, miscellaneous damage changes because of the weapon change rework, and how weapons now are basically -1 damage from what they were before, which also, for the record, puts them back to even with spellcasters. Spellcasters in general, their cantrips dealt 1 or 2 damage. Now martials deal 1 or 2 damage with their weapons. Maybe 3 damage if they choose something like crossbow, but that has a reload mechanic. You get the idea. So that is a huge change of bringing everybody into balance, which then also means 0 damage, a base of 0 damage abilities have been added, like punch, right? If your unarmed strike deals 0 damage, that might sound weird to say, but an unarmed strike deals 0 base damage, meaning you can still get a heavy hit and by 5s increase the damage. You can still do a power attack and punch harder. You can still do all those things, right? But its base damage is 0. Which just makes sense in that way, as far as compared to a weapon, right? So there's that. I already talked about talent rework, and I already talked about the class table stuff. So there's that. That is, and the only other thing here is the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet used to be on, and this is another thing I think might have slipped through the cracks for some people, is unarmed strikes. Right? We just talked about it. Perfect, right? If you wear Gauntlet on you have this giant metal gauntlet on your hand. If you punch somebody with that, it's going to hurt more than your fleshy little fist, right? So the property that we've added to this, and the concept overall about you having some sort of armored body part that you're smashing into somebody with. If you wear a gauntlet, which is now in the equipment section, if you wear a gauntlet, it adds the impact property to your unarmed strikes, right? It doesn't add 1 damage. It's not as powerful as a full-blown weapon, but it does add the impact property to that hit. So that's nice. And if you wear heavy armor, just if your body is equipped with heavy armor, another extra property of heavy armor is being able to add impact. Adds the impact property to unarmed strikes that you make. So you throw an elbow with your metal armor you're wearing. You do a headbutt with this giant metal helmet. That also makes sense. I don't think that I've ever seen that be accounted for in that way, and I think it's a really beautiful way of fixing that in that regard. So unarmed strikes, there you go. That is the big picture of how the whole thing works, and I'm pretty sure that is everything. The only other kind of concept I don't think I talked about in the weapons rework is there used to be light and heavy weapons. There no longer is a distinction between light and heavy weapons, because essentially you almost make something a heavy weapon once you choose the two-handed property. That's kind of how it works in general, but we no longer need a delineation separation between light and heavy, because you can use whatever weapon you want. And a lot of the stuff was light and heavy weapons was a gate for spellcaster classes not to be able to get access to heavy weapons. But that's not needed anymore. A spellcaster class could make a weapon that's a larger weapon, like a two-handed spear or something. Sure, a two-handed staff. Why not? You know what I'm saying? You can absolutely wield that. But the benefits of the martial characters are they benefit from weapon style passives, which are extra bonus damage under certain conditions, and all the other stuff that's involved with the weapon styles, which is different for every single weapon. So they get access to that. They get access to maneuvers in general in the first place. All of those things. So anyway, those are all the big picture changes. Oh, the only other thing, again, is the agility and might requirements have also been removed from weapons. There were some questions about that in the live stream recently, and I think it is a benefit and boon boost to the game. DC20 is not about gritty, grindy, crunchy, gotcha. Oh, but you need, oh, wait. Oh, you want to climb? You want to climb this wall? Give me this check. Oh, you want to do this? Give me that. You know, like there's not a lot of things like that of gotchas. So might and agility requirements, could they be added to the system? Sure. Would it add more fun to it? I don't know. And I also don't think it's needed for balance purposes as well, because the system already balances itself with the weapon properties being the way they are. I think if we did add weapon requirements, it would add more ways to possibly break the system, because you could just be like, oh, I don't care about agility, and I can add an agility requirement, which gives me more points, and blah, right? It's just way more simple the way it is now, and I think it's also in the spirit of DC20, of fun, epic gameplay. So there is the big picture. Thank you guys for watching this. Again, this whole channel and this whole video stuff is for you guys. I don't think that this channel is going to ever be, I have no plans for it to be big. The only plan for this channel is to be able to have an avenue to give you guys information and updates just like this. So thank you guys so much for turning this into what it has been, and it will be up onto the future. Stay creative. Thanks in the box. Peace.